Hi, this is Votan, and I'm back. Today I'm going to be talking a little bit about fasting. Now, this is something that I've known about for quite a while. I've tried fasting, I think in high school, and right after it. I think the longest I did at that time was at least 5 days. I can't quite remember. It may have gone to 6 or 7. But yeah, at least 5 days I fasted. But that was quite a number of years ago, and I haven't done too much of it since, although maybe a year and a half ago or so I fasted once a week for about 9 months. And when I was eating in between the fasting days, I was eating quite healthily. So I think my body was able to clear out a lot of toxins and maybe repair itself, but I didn't really feel the sense of vibrancy and aliveness that I think I was supposed to feel. So I think what I need to do is do a longer fast. And the reason why I'm doing it now is sort of inspiration of my dad, because he's sick at the moment and I've been trying to get him to fast. And also, to be honest, inspiration from a YouTube poster on my channel, Nathan Frames. It was his story and inspiration and the help that he got from clearing up a lot of problems sort of inspired me to try this again as well. And it's been something that I've been wanting to do, but I've sort of been delaying it just because I sort of have a food addiction. I enjoy eating, and haven't been quite able to get back to my healthier diet. So I think my experience with fasting started in high school when I worked at a health food store, and I read this book called The Miracle of Fasting by Bragg. And actually their other book too, Apple Cider Vinegar, was very inspirational to me, and I retained the knowledge that I learned over the years, and often I will take apple cider vinegar once in a while, maybe like in the morning, or if I don't do that, I'll take lemon or whatever. But the fasting cure and some of the cures that they talk about in the book have sort of stayed with me, and I've always felt like I wanted to do a long fast, but I didn't really feel confident in my ability to do it, just because it is a little bit scary. So especially if you do a longer fast, like longer than 1 day, maybe 3 days, or maybe a week or whatever. But the book is The Miracle of Fasting by Paul Bragg and Patricia Bragg, his daughter. And it's gone through many revisions, and I have a fairly up-to-date version released a couple of years ago. And I've been going through the book, and it's a bit repetitive, and they repeat itself a lot, but it's solid in that there's a lot of health problems that have been cured just by fasting. I guess the general idea is that we think that we need a daily intake of nutrients, and we need to consume all of this for energy and for maintaining the body in its healthy state. But the fact is, we don't get everything out of the food we eat, and the food stays in our stomachs, stays in our intestines and our colons, and it doesn't have time to fully digest everything before you eat the next meal. And this just continues. You have a buildup of old food and other matter inside your body that is not digested, and in some cases There are some things that just do not digest, and it stays in the body for years and years. And like anything that's not digested starts to rot. And we all have a lot of this dead, rotting, undigested food in our bodies that we've eaten but hasn't been digested. So the idea is, by stopping the intake of new food, the body now has a chance to rest and go to work on cleaning out and digesting whatever it is that's left over in the body from meals past, days past, weeks past, months past, years past, etc. So the body can only do this cleaning when you stop giving it more food to digest, because digestion and the consumption of food is a huge energy waster. The body has to expend lots of energy in order to digest all this food and break it down, move it through the body, which many people have heard. The intestines and all of the places where the food moves through, when stretches out for many, many miles. So there's a lot of work that the body has to do to break down this food. And fasting will start cleaning the body out. And so by doing the once daily for every week, you sort of maintain this state that your body can be sort of clean. However, you need to do longer fasts if you start out in like a sicker state, or you start out in a state that is much worse than the weekly maintenance fasts are not able to handle. And most of us who don't fast and just cram ourselves full of food, and people who overeat, I'm one of them, your body is overloaded, and if you're not listening to your bodily signals and eating when you're actually hungry and not just eating because, oh, it's 12, oh, it's 6, or whenever you eat out of habit or whatever, then you're going to get this buildup. So a long-term fast, maybe 3 days or longer, is necessary in order to really clean out the body. So the body goes to work, it starts digesting old fecal matter, old undigested food, old abscesses, tumors, anything that doesn't belong. It finally has a chance to get to these problem areas. And this takes time. And digesting this old food and old material will not make you feel too good. So fasting can involve maybe frequent periods of discomfort, and in some cases it can involve vomiting, depending on how sick you are, or diarrhea. And you think, well, I need to eat, this is very unhealthy, look at what my body is doing. But actually, no, your body is not undergoing like starvation, like when you don't eat it. Maybe that's what you would think. Instead of starving yourself, your body is cleaning itself, and it's purging all of these old toxins and pesticides and the old matter that, like I was saying. So I think fasting is a pretty necessary thing, and it can cure many things that other things won't help. For example, somebody goes to the doctor for some issue, maybe a stomach issue, whatever, and they get a pill. And the pill may take away the pain, but is the underlying cause really taken care of? To me, it sort of seems like, no, probably not. The underlying cause is still there. After they take the pill, it seems like the problem has went away because they no longer feel the pain. But days later, weeks later, or sometime later, they probably will get the same issue back, and it'll be worse, and it'll be compounded. So if you don't take care of this problem, it starts getting worse and worse and snowballs into an even bigger issue. So by fasting, you allow your body to cleanse itself in the way it knows how to do. One example that's cited quite often in the book is that even animals don't eat whenever they get sick. Somehow they know that their body has to use all of their energy in expending it to take care of their illness. And by eating, it would be diverting that energy that would be going to fixing their illness to digesting their food that their body doesn't want at that time. And their body will no longer be able to handle curing the sickness. And so then they remain sick. And then perhaps the sickness gets worse. And that's the same thing with us humans. Many people have sort of the instinct, like when they're sick, they don't want to eat. But like my mom tells me, or doctors, I've heard it in the news, and other people, it's sort of a myth that, oh, you need to eat when you're sick. You have to keep up the strength. You have to give all the energy that your body can use to fight off this illness. And the body needs all these nutrients. And, you know, I don't know, I don't really have any scientific proof, but to me it sort of seems like, you know, it makes sense to allow the body to do its thing. You've already given it plenty of nutrients from eating in the past. Give your body a rest and allow it to expend the energy to fight off the fever or the flu or the cold or whatever illness you have. So that's, I think in that regard, fasting is a necessary thing, and we all sort of have that instinct. Another example is cited is fasting is part of all the major religions. I haven't studied all the major religions, but it seems like the cultural thing sort of came out of the natural thing, which was to cleanse the body every year, every season, or once in a while or whatever, in order to purify. And this has other effects as well. In religions, it also has spiritual connotations. For example, in the Bible it says that Jesus fasted for 40 days, and some of the old prophets, and a lot of other people have also fasted 40 days. Now 40 days is quite a long period of time, and probably you couldn't do it right away unless you were deathly sick and there was nothing else, no other recourse for you. But that's pretty extreme. But it just goes to show that these spiritual leaders knew that fasting wasn't just to cleanse the body, but rather also to maintain a spiritual connection. I think the idea is that when you stop eating, your body is not as active. Your blood pressure is lowered, your heart rate slows down, and you basically are much calmer. And this calmness of body allows you to enter deeper states of mind, deeper states, brain waves, and this will allow you to enter into a deeper spiritual connection as well. And that's why I think a lot of the prophets did. I've heard of various stories of people who used prayer while they were fasting in order to heal themselves of various illnesses. Because fasting will allow this spiritual connection to be realized. So this is a big motivation for me, because I also want this spiritual connection. A lot of people cite, well, probably you want to fast for weight loss. It's the fastest way to lose weight. I don't know if that's the fastest way. I've seen some documentaries, I can't remember what they were, what the names of them were. I think I saw clips of this one documentary called Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead. I don't think I watched it, but I think I saw the gist of it. And that was by fasting, either it's called intermittent fasting or just fasting on every other day, or just really limiting your calorie intake. So maybe it's calorie restriction, but eating very, very small amounts of healthy food in the correct combination actually can help speed up your metabolism and allow you to lose weight even faster than pure fasting, which is just drinking water, no solid food. Now that is not the reason why I want to fast. I could stand a little bit of weight to be lost. I mean, I'm not so trim, but for me it's like a side effect. Oh, if I lose some weight, great. But for me, I'm suffering from some health problems and from a dirty body, I believe, probably inside. I mean, I shower and I wash the outside, but the inside, you can't really tell how good somebody is, how clean somebody is on the inside just by looking at them, unless they have maybe skin issues or whatever. And then you can see that they have something going on the inside. So the fact that fasting is the best way to lose weight may not necessarily be true. Plus, if you have an unhealthy eating habit, once you commence eating food, perhaps you felt deprived during that time, and that deprivation would force you to gorge on food, which is very unhealthy. After your body has been at rest, to suddenly get a huge intake of food potentially could kill you if you do the wrong thing. So it's probably not the best way to lose weight. It will allow you to lose weight. It'll allow you to lose water weight at first, and then fat, and then all the old matter that's you're carrying around inside, and toxins and things like that as they're released. And then if you go too far, your body starts going into starvation mode, and then it starts consuming muscle and vital tissues. But that's if you don't starve yourself or fast for a very long period of time. The body will not eat the vital tissues at first. It starts consuming and digesting and expelling all of the tissues and substances in the body that are damaged, or that are cancerous, or that are generally not functioning properly. So you're making your body healthy in a good way, in a way that your body can handle. You're not giving it drugs in order to artificially loosen all that stuff, like taking laxatives, and which basically just powerfully opens up the bowels and allows you to evacuate everything immediately, and that's relatively unnatural unless you take something a little bit less potent, like prunes, or maybe even pineapple. Something like that would help even more, I think, in a more gentle way. So fasting is something that I would like to try in a long-term way, now that I have more years of eating various ways, and I'm sure that I have stuff in my body that needs to be healed. Another thing that has made me want to try fasting is from the book that I mentioned, The Miracle of Fasting by Bragg. It talks about the toxic acid crystals in the body. And these things you can actually verify are in your body by peeing into a container and letting it set over hours and days, and you can see like the toxins and the little crystals settling at the bottom of the urine container. And this is proof that you have these acid crystals. Now, acid crystals form in your joints. Supposedly they start in the feet and the ankles, and they work their way up to the knees, the hips, the neck, shoulders, elbows, and the hands, and they can cause, deformities and stiffness. And I suffer, probably my main health issue is joint issues. And I don't really want to say what disease one of my knees has, but mainly I have pains, and they creak and they crack. And one sure tell is if you roll your neck around and you could feel like grit or sandpaper, you can feel your neck grinding around. Assuming that it's not like vertebrae issues or something like that, it's probably a buildup of the toxic acid crystals. And fasting promises to remove these crystals. And as joint issues seem to be my major health issue, fasting perhaps could help me fix this. And I've been sort of suffering from it for years, and even eating healthier hasn't seemed to help it and fix it. I think my body needs to go through a period of an intense cleanse. So, yeah, I think that's a major thing. I mean, there are many other benefits for people who fast as well. For example, if you're suffering from headaches or skin issues or mucus, and actually mucus, I don't really suffer from mucus, but for some reason I woke up this morning, actually in the middle of the night, I had so much mucus in my throat. That's so unusual for me. And I've been sort of hacking it out today. I'm not sure what that's about. It's very unusual for me to have a lot of mucus. That's just another indication, I think, to me, that I'm ready for a longer fast. So, I don't want to get into all the details about fasting. I think I've spoken enough. I think fasting is relatively safe, and unless you do a really long-term fast, like 3 weeks or longer, I think it's relatively safe to do it alone, do it without supervision. And I'm talking about short-term fast, maybe up to 10 days. And that's what the book recommends, up to 10 days. The main thing is to drink 8 to 10 glasses of water a day. Now they make a big fuss about drinking only pure distilled water. And I don't know, I've heard different things, and they sort of address it, that they address the issues of some of the complaints that people have about distilled water, which is that it's dead water, that it's maybe hungry water, or it doesn't have any other minerals that the body needs, but it doesn't totally satisfy, because I've also read some books on water, or watched a very good documentary called Water, the Great Mystery, and it sort of talks about how water has memory, and the best water is the mountain spring water, or the unpolluted river water that has, maybe has some minerals in it, but basically is alive because it has life force to it. And water that you get out of a jug, from the store, or from our pipes, is basically dead. I don't want to go into water right now, but so I'm not really going to buy any particular water. I'm just going to be using my water filter that I have here in order to drink the necessary water that I have. It's also allowed, if you need to, a very, very small amount of apple cider vinegar that's raw with the enzyme in it, to 3 of those glasses of water a day. and this can just help the body do its thing, but it's not 100% necessary, and it's such a small amount, it's basically still just a water fast. Now if you don't like that, or you don't have the raw apple cider vinegar, you can go for lemon. Lemon is also really good. Even though lemon is acidic, it has an alkalizing effect on the body. So I drink lemon water sometimes in the mornings. I'm not sure yet if I'm going to do this during my fast, but I'm just going to see how I feel. I also saw a video on YouTube by a Reverend Miles Monroe, I think his name was. It was just the audio, but he talked about also allowing just pure apple juice if you need something else besides water, or pure cranberry juice. But other than that, it's just water, and I don't plan to do that, but that's also an option that some people have recommended. And basically it's just pure water. Now some people also would say, especially on a fast, you need to do an enema. This book says it's not necessary. If you need to do it, or if you feel like you really want to, you can do it maybe once or twice, but beware doing it because it can be habit forming and the body will take care of itself at the end. I would like to believe that, and that's probably mostly true. Our body knows what to do. But I think during a fast, it depends on the person's digestive system. During a fast, when you have a lot of toxins that are being released from the body, it's a lot more toxic in your body, and so you really need to get rid of as much waste as possible, because normally during a fast you're only going to be urinating. So I've also seen some videos and seen some literature that say just the opposite. You really need to do multiples a day, especially if you're really sick. Now I'm not really sick, but if you were really sick, multiple enemas a day can help you cleanse that sickness out of your body very quickly. And especially during a fast, to help release those toxins quickly, because our colon is basically still skin, and the longer the matter that stays in there, the more the body absorbs it back into the bloodstream. And we don't want that. The stuff that's in there should be expelled, should be released. And so it does make sense to maybe help it out once in a while, to expel that, maybe at the beginning of the fast, and maybe intermittently if you feel like you're starting to get toxic and whatever's in the body is not really leaving your body quickly enough. But I think that's optional, and you can do it if you see fit. I guess the last thing, fasting is sort of a personal thing, especially if you don't do it for weight loss. If you do it more for health reasons, maybe for spiritual reasons, a lot of people don't understand, and they think you're doing something very dangerous. And I think it's best to keep it to oneself. Like, I don't really plan to, advertise what I'm doing to other people. If the situation does come up where I have to eat or it's expected of me, but I'm fasting that day, I'll just say I'm not hungry. Or I'll say, well, I'm not feeling so well, I'm just not going to eat. Or, water is fine for me, or something like that. I don't really have to go into the whole deal, well, I'm on this really long spiritual cleanse, and I'm doing this to get closer to God or clean out my body. I don't need to, explain the whole rigmarole. So, the main thing is to stay positive, to give yourself affirmations that you're doing the right thing, and you should feel like each day you're getting healthier and better, and the positivity and the good thoughts will help speed up your body to expel all of that dead matter as well. All right, so I think I've talked enough, and I hope to fix some of the issues that I've been having in my body. I hope to be able to have a deeper connection to God and Spirit, and I hope to be able to have more confidence in being able to fast in the future and go for a longer fast, and different kinds of fasts, and go back to my once a week fast, because that seems relatively healthy, and go to less meals per day, and not eat so late, so the body can rest while it's sleeping and not digest the food. So these are sort of my goals, and we'll see how it pans out. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.